Thanks for tuning in to College Football Blitz on the OFN Today with Dave Koken of Covers.com on the Ourlads Football Radio Network at Ourlads.com. Brought to you in part by Covers.com. Make sure to visit Covers Experts, and of course Dave's one of them, at experts.covers.com, and you can take 50% off any purchase by using the promo code PRIME50. That's PRIME50. Again, 50% off any purchase. Use the promo code PRIME50. All right, we are almost halfway through the bowl season already, Dave, right? We're pretty much there. We've got the big ones coming up in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been fun so far, except for Ohio State, which really irritated me. But, sometimes you're going to have games like that. That was absolutely horrendous officiating in that game, though. And, they got to find a way to fix this.
Officiating?
Oh, my God.
Well, that's never going to happen.
You've got to come up with a clear set of rules on what's a catch and what's not.
They've been trying to do that in the NFL. I think they might have fixed it in the NFL, but college, that's a different animal.
I'm sorry, but that was absolutely the wrong call in the Ohio State Clemson game. That's a catch. And if something and on top of that, to overrule at the very least, it's a call stands.
Well, the tricky thing with that,
can't change that call.
The tricky thing with that is what I don't want officials to do. See, everybody wants officials whenever the play is close to let the play go. So what I don't want to have happen is people to say, well, you can't overturn it. Or I'm not people, but generally the old consensus has always been it's got to be 100% conclusive to change the call.
Right.
I don't think that should be the case anymore because they've told officials to just go with the play and not blow the whistle, even if you think you should blow the whistle. Yeah. So I think that term should change because I don't want officials blowing the whistle.
No, I don't have a problem with they didn't blow the whistle.
Yeah, I want them to continue 100% of the time. Don't blow the whistle.
But you can't overturn the call. He caught the ball.
That's the rule, like you said. That's Look, first of all, here Ohio State gave the game away.
Oh, sure they did. I understand that.
Yeah, they gave that game away.
But they also got just every break went against them. The targeting call was highly questionable. Then you've got
I
hate
the targeting calls in college. It's so annoying, the targeting call.
Well, you've got to come up with a flagrant. Do something that's similar to college basketball where you've got a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. A flagrant 1, okay, I guess you call the penalty. But you can't throw a game. You can't throw the guy out of the game.
Yeah, I didn't mind. Look, whether you want to say that the quarterback bent down and the helmet to helmet, okay, fine. But they always call it anyway. And
right.
But I agree with you. Throwing these players out for
ridiculous.
Something like that that's come on.
Right. And then, of course, the end of the game, receiver broke the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's a touchdown otherwise. That's the way it goes. Well, good luck to Clemson. They're going to need it.
That's the thing is that LSU. Well, number one, you got to wonder whether LSU could play any better than what they did last week.
Probably not. But
now they got to step up in competition, but they don't have to play that good. No. I think to beat this Clemson team.
No, I agree. I think. The thing Clemson's got going for it is they've got a great coach. They've won 29 in a row.
Sure.
And they're not going to rattle.
No.
And they're obviously a better team than Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
But LSU is the best team in college football this year.
Yeah. And that line blew up, 3 points after the first few minutes?
It's come back down some, but I think it'll settle 5.5 or 6.
And that's good. I think, LSU's.
Good line.
Yeah, I feel good about that, taking LSU. Win by a touchdown or more, that's okay. I don't know if that game is going to go down to the wire.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
LSU is just.
They're playing great. They're playing on top of their game. Yeah.
They're playing at a level. The defense is getting better.
Yes.
And the offense.
That's the scary part. The defense is catching up to the offense. So they look like right now maybe the best team that we've seen in college football in years. If that defense actually shuts down Clemson.
I would agree with that. They've got to prove it.
They have to
in
prove
the championship game, but man, they're a monster.
Yeah, and they've got the kind of a home crowd situation going on there.
Won't hurt them.
No, it won't hurt them at all. Crazy game, the big one between Clemson and Ohio State. But and we got to wait. Now, was it always 2 weeks? We always had to wait? I always thought it was a week.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at it this year. I was like, wow, 2 weeks we got to wait? I didn't remember it being 2 weeks.
It's okay. I don't mind. I want to see everybody healthy. So.
Yeah, I know. So it's just that's the good thing. It's just, we wait like, 4 weeks, and now we got to wait another 2 weeks. So, but whatever. Okay. Let's get to the bowl games, and we've already done a bunch of them, so that's available on demand up on our YouTube page, and, of course, also at ourlads.com and primesportsnetwork.com. But let's take a look at the game starting tomorrow on Tuesday. I tell you what, the first 3 games, I probably won't even play any of them. I'll make a couple of picks. I've already made a couple of picks, but I'm not really sold. I mean, the Virginia Tech one is probably the only one that I would take as a pick because of the fact that Virginia Tech's been very kind to me down the stretch, except for the Virginia game. It's also Bud Foster's last game. So he's had a few weeks to prepare for a one-dimensional offense.
Good dimension, though.
Very good dimension. Lynn Bowden has been incredible this season. That's what does scare me, though, because he had that monster game, 284, 4 touchdowns in his last game. And, of course, we all know how Perkins hurt Virginia Tech in the rivalry game on the ground.
Well, and the other thing is the SEC is way better than the ACC. And I don't know if Virginia Tech's got the personnel to take advantage of it here. I lean to Kentucky in that game. I probably won't play it.
Florida State, Arizona State's just a crazy game. Yeah, you've got the no coordinators for Arizona, new coordinators for Arizona State. You've got Ayuk out and Benjamin out for Arizona State. You got Cam Akers out for Florida State. I would go with Arizona State because
that's the only side I'd look at. But I'm not going to play it. Not without those 2 key guys. But what I'm hearing on Florida State isn't real positive. Their season, let's just say that there does not appear to be any sense of urgency for this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Norval's going to be coaching the game.
No.
So, and remember too, Florida State's got several key defenders that have been lost as well to injury this season, including Marvin Wilson. So yeah, it's just one of those games that I don't even know if I'll watch.
I'll probably watch because it's better than watching the match game or something like that. But no, I don't think I'll have any action.
Kansas State and Navy. Now, this is a game every year. There's always a bowl game or two that I hate. Or the same thing happens to me in college basketball when they put the matchups together. There's always a few matchups where I go, did you have to put those matchups together? Because those teams I've actually played with this year and done real well with, being Kansas State and Navy. I've done very well with both of them. I wanted to take both of them in their games this year and then have to play each other. So I'm kind of screwed with that. K-State 4-1 straight up, 5-0 against the spread as a dog. And Navy, of course, winning 8 out of 9 overall. Navy opened as a 2-point dog. They're now pretty much a 2-3-point favorite.
I'm not going against the military team in the bowl games. It's as simple as that.
Yep, tough to do.
But I do think Kansas State might match up with them. So it could be a really good game, but not a good betting game.
Yep. Dog has won 3 straight and 4-5 outright in this bowl game. The 61st ranked rushing defense at Kansas State trying to stop Malcolm Perry and Navy, the number 1 rushing offense in the country. Now, I am going to go with the upset later in the evening or later in the day. Actually, I'm going to go with the 2 dogs in the early part of the evening and the late part of the evening, Georgia State and Texas. I really love what Craig Bohl has done to Wyoming. I just don't like the quarterback situation right now with what's going on there. They've also lost their top defender, defensive lineman, who's been dismissed on the team. I just don't see Wyoming scoring a whole lot of points. Maybe they can because Georgia State's not a great defense, especially in the ground game. But this story of Georgia State this year with beating Tennessee, with Ellington and the ACL, I love the story. I think this is ripe for an upset.
I don't. It's just a matchup situation. Wyoming loves to run the football. They'll run it 50 times this game, and they might average 5 yards a carry.
Maybe.
I mean, Georgia State can't stop the run.
Yeah,
And
Levi
that's what
Williams
Wyoming,
might be the better quarterback option in this game.
he's a tank. Vanderwall is available, but I think you'll see both Wyoming quarterbacks, and I think they're going to go with the big kid who matches up well here. I think Wyoming just wears them down eventually. The other game, I'm opposite you there as well. I don't go against Whittingham in bowl games. He is amazing in bowl games. I'm very impressed with the fact that Utah, all their NFL prospects are sticking around to play in this bowl game. And it's kind of a disappointment bowl because Utah could have been in the playoffs and they're not. And Texas just had a disappointing season. But I think man for man, Utah matches up pretty well with the Longhorns. And I might get to the window with the Utes. Not crazy about the line, but if it gets lower than 7, I will definitely be on Utah.
Yeah, the only thing I noticed about, and I'm right there with you, with Whittingham and his bowl record of 11-2 at bowls. The thing is, let's remember, he lost as a 7-point favorite in the bowl last year. The similarity was the team came off a Pac-12 championship loss. So here they are coming off a Pac-12 championship loss again, where he's 0-1 in bowls under that situation. That concerns me a little. I love, and how do we not as handicappers love Tom Herman in the underdog role, which is where he is again. He's also 3-0 in bowls, and in the Sugar Bowl last year, of course, took on a team that was kind of disappointed that they weren't in their bowl game, Georgia, in the playoffs, Georgia, and they took advantage of that in upsetting Georgia outright. And there is one key loss for Utah, not to the draft, but for injury, and that's one of their top DBs, Julian Blackman, who will not be playing in the game. That kid Duvernay is going to be it's going to be a nice matchup with Jalen Johnson, the corner for Utah. See how many times he goes up against Duvernay. Okay.
Should be a good game.
Yeah, should be a good game. All right, now let's go to the games on New Year's Day, and the Big Ten's off to a good start. The Big Ten's only got one loss. That's the Ohio State loss. That's a good loss. They've won all their other bowl games, so they've looked good. Michigan against Alabama, 7.5-point spread. And then you take a look at the other game at 1 o'clock, Minnesota-Auburn, SEC Big Ten. Same spreads of about 7.5 for the ACC teams. It's clear that Michigan, just from what we've seen and read, is that they want this game. This is important to them, and that's always a big battle we have to deal with when we're handicapping bowl games. So the question is, how does Alabama come into this game?
That's the problem for Michigan. They never win a big game. They haven't won a game that matters in forever under Harbaugh. And, Alabama, I don't know how to read Alabama. Are they interested or not? Because if Alabama's interested, they'll whack Michigan in this game. But I don't know that they are. Mm-hmm. And that makes it a really tough game to play. But it would be Alabama or nothing for me. I have no interest in playing Michigan.
Then you've got that Minnesota-Auburn game, and Nix, the freshman quarterback, just one pick in his last 6 games. The linebacker, Nick Coe, out for the NFL draft. And for Minnesota, even though Martin's out for the NFL draft, he's missed some time this year anyway. I'm not really concerned with that. You've got Bateman and Johnson, 2 excellent receivers against that Auburn defense. Look, Auburn's the better team. We know that.
Yep.
Fleck does a good job in these types of games, though. I don't know. This one's a tough one to call because
I think so too.
Yeah, because Auburn's got the capability of winning this easy if they just come off to a great start, 2-score lead and all that. But if Minnesota can get off to a good start, this could be a good football game.
I think it might be. I think Minnesota's excited about the game, and I threw out the second. I kind of threw out the Wisconsin game. They were really impacted by the weather. They're downfield. They're throw it downfield. And they could not get anything going. The quarterback could not handle the snow. They wanted to worry about snow in this game. I think Minnesota might be the more interested team. And I'm leaning that way, but probably not enough to play it. But we are getting to a game I have played and like quite a bit.
All right. Well, the next game is actually one of my favorite games, and that is the Rose Bowl. And I really like Oregon in this one. This was actually my favorite game just of the spread, because when I was looking at the spread, my guess for the spread, I thought Oregon should have been a 3-point favorite. I'm surprised Wisconsin's a 3-point favorite. They impressed a lot of people with the Ohio State game. I get that. But I just think Oregon is just still an underrated team. There is so much talent on this football team. They're an underrated defense. You got Herbert in his last game. I just like Oregon.
Well, I'm not involved in this one. I was hoping Oregon would be the favorite because I'd have taken Wisconsin, but at Wisconsin minus points, I'm not going to do. So that tells you where we're going for the game I like.
All right, and that one is going to be the Baylor-Georgia game, which is going to be the late game.
And I like Baylor a lot here.
I do too. Yes.
Georgia, the number of guys that are missing this game for Georgia is absolutely incredible,
especially on the offensive line, which is where Baylor really needs to win the line of scrimmage game in order for them to have success.
Both tackles.
Yep.
Three of their 5 top receivers, at least one of their better running backs. And then they've got 3 guys out on defense as well. And Georgia's coming off a game where they just got walloped and knocked out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Whereas Baylor showed their tremendous grit in a game where they lose their quarterback pretty early against Oklahoma and just missed, losing the game in overtime. The only negative is, hopefully Rule doesn't get hired between now and tomorrow.
Yes.
But
he did. He had a talk with his team supposedly.
Yep.
So
they're gonna play.
I believe so too. And look, I think Matt Rule is going to be the next coach of the Giants. So maybe that's something he already kind of has a good feeling for as well. But as long as he's coaching there, I'm okay with that. As long as he's there on the sidelines.
Yeah, and look, I think the Baylor players would play their ass off for him if they know he's going.
That's right.
Because they really like him.
Yes.
This is of all the bowl games, this entire bowl season, this is the one. And on paper, if Georgia's got their full complement of players, I make Georgia -8. But they're missing so many guys, it's just not a positive situation. And Baylor's had this underdog mentality all year long, actually. Of all the bowl games this year, this is the one that I feel the underdog has way more interest than the favorite. And I think Baylor is going to pull the upset.
Yeah, and the spread has only been moved a couple of points since all the personnel, with all these changes on the Georgia side. Look, Baylor 6-0 against the spread versus bowl teams this year. Baylor 4-0 against the spread as a dog this year. Baylor 3-0 straight up ATS last 3 bowls, all as dogs, including the one last year with Matt Rule. And Georgia's pretty much in a similar spot that they were in last year. This is not where they want to be. This is just and the offense has been so bad all year, and now they're going up against one of the better defenses in college football, and they're doing it undermanned in a game they probably don't care about. So I'm there with you.
That's a good combination.
Yes, and Charlie Brewer has been cleared to play.
Yes.
So that helps too. Okay.
I'll tell you what, the kid who came in the second half.
Zeno, yes.
Woo,
and he
showed something.
He was their top recruit too. So he's got a good future. As far as the other games on Thursday, I mean, Cincinnati for me and Tennessee will be the plays in those 2 games. I can't take BC with the coaching change with A.J. Dillon out. The quarterback, of course, is still not there. And Cincinnati's had a strong season. So I feel pretty confident about Cincinnati in that one. And
I'd agree.
And then Tennessee, I'm going to take them in this one. I love the job that Allen's done with the Hoosier program. But when they step up in competition, they have some issues. Tennessee's on fire. They've won 6 out of 7, including 5 straight. And DeBoer, now I think he's still coaching this game, the coordinator for Indiana. So I think he wanted to stay here, but I'm not sure if that's the case. So
no, he is calling the plays.
He is calling the plays. Okay. Indiana 0-4 this year versus bowl teams. So I'm taking Tennessee.
Lean Cincinnati, probably going to stay out of the Indiana-Tennessee.
Okay. As far as Friday's big line, I actually think this isn't a bad upset possibility. I don't know what Ohio's doing as an 8-point favorite. I mean, okay, they've had a better history recently, but this Navy team, I really like this redshirt freshman quarterback, Carson Strong. maybe they've got something there in the next couple of years. 505 in the air, 4 touchdowns, no picks over his last 2. Don't forget they had the big Week 1 win against Purdue. So, look, they ended their season with 3 wins, 17-point upset over San Diego State, 13-point upset at Fresno. They lose that close one to UNLV in the home finale. I think they're playing.
That's a pretty bad loss.
But it's a rivalry loss.
I know.
They're playing. I still think they're playing pretty well, considering they're getting 8 points from Ohio. I mean, come on, Ohio.
Well, I'm not going to be on Ohio, but I don't want Nevada. I've watched every game, and they're not very good.
No,
neither is Ohio.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Neither is Ohio. Yeah.
Ohio does have a bunch of milestones out there for Solich. Nathan Rourke's last game. I think Ohio finds a way to win, but it could be a competitive game.
And then the last 2, you got Tulane, who even though they struggled down the stretch, the 5 losses were actually to good bowl teams. They didn't have bad losses. They just had a tough schedule. I think they're going to use this bowl game to get something good about themselves, especially with Fritz coming back. And Southern Miss was just they just, I mean, that conference was pretty bad all year.
Well, I've said that all year. The Conference USA stinks. I don't think Abraham's much of a quarterback. Southern Miss defense is going to have to prepare for this hybrid option, which isn't easy to do. And I think Tulane maybe takes out some frustration for some tough losses. I like the Green Wave here.
And then finally in the lending tree, this is the one on Monday, the 6th of January. Keep in mind the Dog has won 6 out of 9 outright in this one, but it's a big point spread.
Ain't gonna
14.
The Dog isn't going to win this one outright.
Yeah, the mismatch here is that you got Lafayette's 3 running back monster against the 80th ranked rushing defense in college football. You got to really hand it to Miami. The year they've had, especially they're very well coached on special teams. That's kind of they kind of outcoach you in games against inferior teams, but Lafayette's had a very strong season.
Lafayette's the much better football team, and they actually even showed a lot in the Appalachian State game where they
came back
hopelessly behind and really never stopped battling.
Yep.
I think they can do whatever they want in this game, and if the Cajuns are ready to play, this could get ugly.
All right, so besides college football, which after this week you've got one more championship game, and then, of course, the NFL playoffs. So I know you don't really like the NFL compared to college football. Do you get interested once the playoffs begin?
Well, I mean, I'll look at the games, but I'm just not that good in the NFL, and I had no luck. I had the Broncos yesterday, so
There you go. Right, I know. And then of course, they don't give up. They stop the 2-point conversion, of course. Give up the touchdown.
Well, that didn't matter.
And, of course, they got to get rid of that Garrett Bowles. That guy's got to go. I mean, and Fangio, I don't know. I always looked at him as a disciplinarian type coach, and here he is with guys making plays like that. Not only Bowles, but then that DB who made that stupid play at the end of the game, too, to keep the drive alive.
What the hell is he doing? Why would you try a 58-yard field goal?
And then the 58-yard field,
What are you doing?
All you have to do is
punt the ball.
That's it. They had no timeouts, and they were supposed to go 80 yards with no timeouts.
I mean, it's just Fangio is, to my opinion, Fangio might have been a one and done.
Really?
Or maybe he should have been. Yeah, I think he did a terrible job. I think the Broncos should have been a 500 team.
I don't know. I'd be surprised if they let him go.
No, I'm saying should have.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a head coach. I think he's an assistant.
Do you think we're gonna get a blockbuster
Already did.
announcement?
Riverboat Ron. He's back in business in Washington.
I mean, I'm talking about
it's a great hire.
Let's say, do you see a Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer type of NFL move?
No.
Okay.
But I have no idea.
But you would guess no. You
I
think Urban Meyer's ever going to coach in the NFL? Urban Meyer?
No.
How come?
I don't know. You know what? I don't care.
All right,
it's one of those things. Look, I can't bet on it, so
okay. Actually, you probably could, but you just haven't found out what the odds are.
No.
Okay, sounds good, Dave. Appreciate it. Enjoy the games. It's a great week to watch college football, and at least there's a lot of good ones. And then we wait for the championship game.
There you go.